Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife and happy Sunday. Welcome to our Sunday video. If you've been around here a while, you know that Sundays are a little bit different here on our channel. It's when we focus on things like cooking and recipes and food and health and our keto journey, just that kind of stuff. And today is no different. I'm making one recipe kind of two different ways today. See, it is summertime here in Alaska, and summer means one thing. It means seafood. It means salmon. It means cod. It's exactly what we're making today. I'm so excited about today's recipe. I had a meeting with a friend last week, and before our meeting he messaged me and said, hey, do you want any salmon? Do you need any salmon? They went fishing and they got too much for their family and he was wanting to bring me some. Now, I always say yes to that because I'm not a big fisherman. Even though I live in Alaska, I just don't really go for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have a lot of friends that go fishing, so things like this happen a lot. But the other thing is that Sherri doesn't really like salmon. And so to have a freezer full of salmon just wouldn't go well for us because it's really only me that eats it. So what I'm making today is actually one recipe, like I mentioned, two ways. I'm making salmon and then I'm making Alaskan cod. Now, let me tell you how I'm gonna make these. You can prepare salmon and cod so easy, so simply. And what I'm gonna do today is actually salmon two different ways and cod two different ways. On our salmon, I'm doing a blueberry balsamic glaze. What? I've never made this before. I found the recipe online. I have had salmon and blueberries before and it goes so well. Like the flavors are just amazing. So that's going to be one way for the salmon. And the other way is actually going to be with a barbecue sauce. And it's a barbecue sauce from the town of Juneau, Alaska, from our friends over at Barnacle Foods. They teamed up with Alaskan Beer, Alaska Brewing Company, and they made a barbecue sauce that we actually bought when we were in Juneau. So the salmon is going to be done with barbecue sauce and then with a blueberry balsamic. And then the cod, we are doing blueberry balsamic as well because let's try it. And then we're also going to do it with just some salt, pepper, and lemon. Because cod is a pretty delicate white fish when it comes to flavor, and you can easily overpower the flavor of cod when you put like big sauces on it. So one of my favorite ways to do cod is just salt, pepper, and lemon. That's what we're gonna do. Now, let me show you all the ingredients we're gonna need for this. It's actually not a ton of stuff, but first of all, I just wanna say, look how amazing those salmon fillets are. That deep red color, oh my gosh, that is what salmon is supposed to look like. I have seen some farmed salmon or some Atlantic salmon that is like white or light pink. No. You want salmon to have this. You want it to be wild, fresh caught Alaskan salmon that is that deep, dark, pink, red color. Yum. And there are our cod fillets. Now over here, we have blueberries. We have thyme, we have lemon, we have balsamic, we have salt and pepper, we have a little bit of sugar, and then this is that Barnacle Foods barbecue sauce. It's made with Alaskan kelp and Alaskan amber ale. Yes. And then with this, I'm just gonna steam like a side of broccoli and cauliflower. Just keep the sides pretty simple. The main focus will definitely be on the fish. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Bake up to 400, and there we go. Start. And then we're gonna get going on this blueberry balsamic glaze, this sauce. I'm really excited about this. I spent a while looking for kind of salmon recipes. I've done it a lot of different ways. Most of the time I do salmon, it's just salt and pepper and lemon because it's just so good. I love the flavor of salmon, and just with those things, I love it a lot. But I wanted to try something new. I love blueberries. I love balsamic, love salmon. I think the fusion of those is going to be wonderful, and I hope, fingers crossed, it's also really good on the cod. Now, I do have the recipe here on the computer, and I will link to it down below for that blueberry balsamic glazed salmon. You can see we've got 1 cup of blueberries here. Now, when measuring out blueberries, this is a pro tip. You always want to measure out more than what is actually needed, so you can grab some and snack on them, because they're just so darn good. In the pot, go the blueberries. Now we've got thyme. It says 5 to 6 sprigs, but I actually am doubling this recipe. So I'm going to put probably about like that. You guys look, I've got time on my hands. Dad jokes, so good. Now we're going 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Then we've got 2 teaspoons of lemon juice and a ½ teaspoon of salt. Now we're actually gonna cook this over medium heat. So I'm turning that on. Just gonna kind of give that a stir, sort of dissolve the sugar, dissolve the salt, get everything mixed up and friendly. And this is actually going to cook for 15 minutes. And as it does, as it starts to heat up, as it starts to even boil a little bit, these blueberries are going to start to pop. They're gonna release that blueberry juice. Very excited about that. While the blueberry is going, I want to talk a little bit about the fish, how I prepared it, all of that. You can see it's nice filleted. The salmon is skin side down. I've let them sit out a little bit further, so they've gotten up to room temperature. I've actually washed both of these off under just some cold water, and then I patted them dry. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut up some lemon slices for the piece of cod right here that we are going to do salt, pepper, and lemon. Now I'm just gonna crack some salt and pepper over the top of that. And a decision has been made. We have this entire thing of roasted garlic that's just been sitting in the oil and like seasoning and spices. And so on the piece of cod that has salt, pepper, and the lemon slices, we're also gonna put some whole cloves of roasted garlic. How could that be a bad idea? Whole cloves of roasted garlic is always a good idea in every recipe. Okay, well, maybe not every recipe, but certainly in this recipe. The cloves of garlic are on there. Now, just going to lay the lemon over top as well. Let's give you an update on the sauce. Holy cow. You guys, it smells amazing. And look at that color. That is the most beautiful color. The blueberries obviously releasing their juices, mixing with that balsamic, the sugar, a little bit of salt, the lemon, the thyme. Oh, goodness gracious. Next thing we're gonna do is put the barbecue sauce, the Barnacle Foods barbecue sauce with kelp and Alaskan amber on one of our salmon fillets. Now, I have not tasted, whoa. I have not tasted the sauce yet. I'm going to though, because it smells smoky and delicious. Oh yeah, okay. This sauce feels like it was made to go over salmon. So let's put this barbecue sauce over the top of one of the salmon fillets. Now, just, you know, I'm gonna hit it real quick with just some salt and pepper before putting the barbecue sauce on there. Put salt, little bit of pepper. Okay, and I'm just gonna go a drizzle of that salmon, kind of right down there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take a spoon and just kind of take the back of the spoon and just sort of cover everything. Now, one of the things that I like about salmon is that salmon doesn't have as delicate of a flavor as cod does. So to me, salmon, when it comes to fish, is a great like palate for bigger flavors. There is I think it's like a chipotle, raspberry chipotle glaze that is really good. I've had with salmon before. I've had like mango habanero stuff on salmon. Salmon can handle bold flavor because salmon already is kind of a big flavor itself. So, works perfect. You can see we have 2 of them done. Barbecue salmon, check. There's the cod with the salt and pepper, the roasted garlic, and the lemon, check. And now the last 2, this salmon, this cod, this is where also Sherri just walked by. If you just saw little feet pass by, that's Sherri. These 2 are going to be the blueberry balsamic. Let's go check on that. Sherri, you just got your first look at it. How's it look?
It's really yummy.
It does. I think it actually even smells better than it looks. Now I'm also gonna do one more thing, because all of our fish is going to have like flavoring on it. The problem is that Missy, our amazing cat, can't have the flavor. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut off this little piece of end of the salmon, and I'm just gonna move it to the side, and we'll cook it by itself with no flavoring so that Missy can have some salmon. All right, you can see there's Missy's little piece of salmon, but also I wanna show you, because John did not just give us those 2 big fillets, there are 2 more huge fillets in there, and 2 more huge fillets in there. Oh, and 2 more huge fillets in there. We have so much salmon now, and it makes me happy. Now we've hit the 15-minute mark, and you can see this is looking perfect. It's looking nice and thick. Look at that consistency on the spoon. But obviously we have some thyme in there. There's a couple like lemon seeds that came out in there from the lemon juice. So now what I'm gonna do is strain this so that what we're left with is kind of that glaze and none of the thick, chunky sprigs and seeds. All right, success. Look at that. Now we are going to put this amazing balsamic blueberry glaze on this piece of salmon and this piece of cod. They are all covered, and it's not picking up on camera, but this is like the darkest purple color. It's amazing. It's like Sherri's hair. So now these are all done, ready to go in the oven. What I'm gonna do, since I have 2 big baking pans, is I'm actually going to put the salmon on top, cod on the bottom for 10 minutes, flip them, and then I think it'll take probably 5 more. So probably 15 minutes total. I'll flip them about 2/3 the way through. Just like that, fish is in the oven. I'm a little bit nervous, only because, I don't know, I think I get nervous whenever I try a new recipe that I've never tried before. I want it to turn out, obviously, but you never know if it will. The reviews on this recipe online were really good. Like I said, I've had blueberry and salmon before. I don't think I've ever had blueberry and cod, so fingers crossed it turns out good. I'm hopeful, but we have to wait and see. You can see the timer about to go off, so we are going to switch the fish on the different racks in the oven. Also, I know, amazing. First look. Oh boy, that looks great. That also looks great. Now back in the oven for just a little while longer. You can see Sherri just started the broccoli and cauliflower in the microwave, so about 4 minutes left on that. Got the table set, got plates here. I'll put the fish here when it's all done. All right, the time's come. Now with fish, what you're looking for is a flakiness. And I can already see on the cod, it's like pulling away. And I did test it with a fork, so both of these I do know, definitely done. So we'll set this right there. And then the salmon fillets were definitely thicker, but I also did test it in the middle. And those are done as well. Also, Missy's little piece is done too. So we're gonna let that cool off and we'll give Missy some later. Sherri, how does it look?
It looks really good.
Yeah?
It smells really good.
It smells interesting. The color is just so different. Like, I'm used to seeing salmon with like barbecue sauce, so that's normal to me. But this color is just so different. I do think it's
almost looks like burnt on the cod.
Yeah, it does.
But it's not. Like, that's just the color of like that blueberry sauce.
It looks like I left the cod in for like 2 hours too long.
Right.
Well, it looks interesting. It definitely smells good. But again, we say it all the time, the most important thing is how it tastes. So we're going to dish this up. Sherri, Auburn, and myself are going to try it, and we'll let you know if this was a success. Fingers crossed it was. So there's the salmon dished up. You can see we're kind of hacking away at all of this. Sherri tried the 2 cods and a little tiny piece of salmon. Auburn has a little piece of everything on there. Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Guys, it really wasn't very good. Okay, we had 4 different kinds of fish. The cod just wasn't good. Neither of them were good, and I think it has more to do with the fact that it was just not great cod. Cod normally does not taste fishy. It should not taste fishy. That's the thing about whitefish. Whitefish should not taste fishy. If it does, something's wrong. This tasted fishy, which taints everything else. And so even the one that just had the lemon, salt, and pepper, the fish taste overpowers it, which is disgusting. So both the cods, I thought they were terrible. The salmon, What?
I thought they were terrible.
They're laughing at me. I thought they were horrible. I had a couple bites and I'll throw the rest in the trash because it's just not good. The salmon, my favorite one was the barbecue salmon. I loved the barbecue sauce. It actually reminded me of a dish that I have downtown at the Glacier Brew House. They have a salmon, a grilled salmon with a barbecue sauce on it that tasted very similar, and I love it. So I would do that one again for sure. Now, onto the blueberry balsamic glaze. It smelled good. It tasted good when you tried it on a spoon out of the pan, but when you put it on either of these dishes, there was just like no flavor. Like, it didn't bring anything to the dish. When you tried the salmon with it, you couldn't really taste it. When you tried the cod with it, all you tried was the fishiness of the cod. And so to me, that glaze, I don't know, like, I followed the recipe and it just wasn't very good. I didn't think it brought anything to the dish. Of all the ways you can make salmon, I would never make it like this again. So there you go. It's all getting thrown away. The rest of it's getting thrown away. We did eat most of it. Let me show you. You can see most of the cod. There's only a couple small pieces left. I might try to salvage some of the inner parts of the salmon for Missy. Other than that, this is all going to the trash. But that is just the way of life sometimes, right? I think we've all made recipes and you finish it and it's like, well, crap, now I'm going to Taco Bell, right? That's kind of where I'm at with this one. So friends, link down below to the recipe if for some reason you want to try it after this video. I will say the salmon, super fresh, super good. And that was the best part about the whole meal, was how fresh the salmon was. Good salmon is delicious, and this was delicious. So we love you guys. Thanks for watching LeggLife. We'll see you guys on the next video.